Mason Miller time.
It's time for the smoke show is what it is. 2.63 ERA, 61 2/3. He has worked, and my gosh, big time stuff. Fastball up to 103 yesterday. And it's scary to say, and I feel ridiculous for saying this for a guy that throws 103. His slider might be his best pitch.
Yeah, if you're hitting 108 against it, I'd say it's a pretty dang good pitch after you're throwing 103 on the fastball.
And the batting average against on the slider is pretty close to the velocity on the fastball. That's frightening. And by the way, the slugging percentage on the slider is also 108. He has not allowed an extra base hit on that pitch all year. He throws 2 to Suzuki, and then another is outside.
The lowest of any pitch that any pitcher throws in all of baseball.
And oh, by the way, yesterday he came in with the shadows, and the ball was going from the shadows to the sunlight to the shadows. I talked to Carson Kelly before the game. I said, what did you think about the stuff from Mason Miller? He said, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said, I could not see the ball. Like, for the first time in my career, I felt helpless standing in the batter's box because of the shade.
I have good news for Carson Kelly. He's on deck.
At least the shadows are now.
Doesn't seem to be as bad today.
2-2. A little high. He will walk you sometimes, Mason Miller. It's just about the only way you can beat him.
Well, if you're the Cubs, that's what you're looking for, man. You're looking for a couple of free passes, maybe an error, and then one big swing to get back in this one.
3-2. No big swing there. 103 top shelved him. The Cubs strike out in a full count for the 5th time today.
Boy, Mason Miller reaching deep down in that lunch pail of his and pulling out a little extra cheese top shelf. How about that? 103 elevated. Good luck.
And the San Diego bullpen is doing to the Cubs what the Chicago bullpen did to the Padres. Kelly, first pitch swinging, puts a slider up in the air to a rise, leaning into the net, and he does not have a play. One of the shorter first basemen you'll see, Luis Ariz, needed a few extra inches here.
You don't think it's October baseball. We saw Manny Machado just wiping out over by the Cubs dugout. Luis Ariz wide open into the netting over at first base. These boys want to win.
Fouled away by Kelly, 0-2. You're talking about that slider just before the game for Mason Miller, and he doesn't throw it, even though it is a slider, like a traditional slider.
He throws it like a curveball, but because he's got that lower slot, he said, you know, for the last 6 years since he really started kind of messing with grips, he said, I wanted it to be a curveball, but because I've got this lower slot, it ends up having more slider action.
104 from Mason Miller. About as fast as a human being has ever thrown a baseball.
And look, it's not just the velocity. I mean, 104 is ridiculous, but look at the placement of it. I mean, you couldn't walk up there and set it any better than that. 104, dots an I on the outside part of the plate. Back-to-back punch-outs from Mason Miller. And Miller threw yesterday. 13 pitches yesterday, 10 of which were strikes.
Well, Mason Miller yesterday struck out Suzuki, struck out Kelly, struck out Crow Armstrong. 1-0 for PCA today. Took something off.
Yeah, what are we looking at?
6 times in the regular season, Miller, with either the A's or the Padres, struck out the side. He did it in his postseason debut. 103 down and in. It's ball 2.
3rd rounder by Oakland out of Gardner-Webb University. How about that?
I'm out.
Padres gave up their top minor leaguer, Leo DeVries, to get him. But if it's a trade deadline and the Padres are in the hunt, A.J. Preller is probably going to give away his top prospect. They thought Miller could be a difference maker. He has been, as he misses way high to PCA ball 3. Little did they know they would lose Jason Adam, and so Mason Miller became an even more important part of this team.
Even a bigger part.
Just a casual 3-1 slider in the heart. And PCA, who has had a tough series, has a tough assignment. 3-2 Miller. Struck him out looking. 6 batters, 6 strikeouts. Mason Miller untouchable at Wrigley.
You're not going to see a better relief pitcher in the postseason than Mason Miller. Fastball hitting 104 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Good luck. And then, by the way, he's got a slider that no one can touch. 3 straight strikeouts then in it.
Take all game 3. Mason Miller, who's faced 6 batters and struck them all out in the series, is back out there for the 8th. 15 pitches deep. And Miller backs up Swanson with a slider at his body. Adrian Morejon was perfect in 2 1/3. He's thrown back-to-back days. 9 pitches yesterday, 33 today. Could compromise him certainly for tomorrow. You could say the same about Miller. Threw an inning yesterday. And the Padres are hoping to get through more today. But guys, I guess if you need to win, that's a price you're willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to win today, and you'll worry about tomorrow when he gets here. And then you'll see who you'll have available tomorrow.
It's hard to imagine, though, Morejon and Miller would be available tomorrow. And you never know. I mean, they could wake up tomorrow and feel great. Mason Miller, the stuff is ridiculous. He seems so efficient with it. But these are 2 of the biggest dudes in your bullpen that you've now gone back-to-back, multiple innings. Hard to believe they'd be available for game 3.
Up and into Swanson. It's 2-2. Miller has gone an inning and 2/3 3 times this year. He went 2 innings a number of times last year, and he is a former starter. His first season with the A's, started 6 starts in 2023. It's 2-2. Swanson gets a piece. He got a piece of for me.
The new wave of catching, man, on one knee. You expose yourself a little bit more than usual on one knee.
Fermin has been behind the plate every inning of this series. And there's 103 again. It's 7 straight strikeouts for Miller.
Mason Miller, probably the most dominant reliever in the game of baseball. Let's take a look at his fastballs. You're throwing some high-octane stuff. How about this? 103, 103, top of zone. Dots and I at 104 on the outside part of the plate. When he rides it up in the zone right there at 103, you can forget about it. That's about as dominant as a reliever you will see. He's faced 7 batters in this series. Guess what? He has punched out all 7.
And you go back to the regular season, 10 Ks in a row for Mason Miller. Got to get a pinch hitter here. Young Moises Ballesteros will make his postseason debut. Turns 22 next month. And Ballesteros, who filled in some for Kyle Tucker in September, hit .333 with a .999 OPS in September. Cubs minor league player of the year the last 2 seasons. He'll get his first postseason at bat against Miller.
Welcome to the postseason. Here's Mason Miller. 104 miles an hour, slider.
Good luck.
From out of the fire and into the frying pan instantly. Ballesteros takes a slider right at the top of the zone.
There's some pitchers out there that might need a little help every now and then. Mason Miller's not one of them. There's
103 and Ballesteros missed it. Padres are 5 outs away, and that number just keeps popping up on the board. Maybe the most uncomfortable at bat in baseball right now, Mason Miller. Ballesteros is helpless. You could give these Cubs a cricket bat, you give them a skyscraper, it's probably not going to matter. They can't do anything against